Let's jump right in. Welcome to the Explainer. Today we're tackling a really fascinating and frankly, absolutely crucial engineering challenge, figuring out the exact math and the strict hardware constraints you need to safely run a high-powered gaming PC on an off-grid 24-volt backup system. Because let's be real, a gaming rig continuously pulling anywhere from 500 to 800 watts for hours on end, that is easily one of the most brutal, demanding loads you can throw at a small residential power system. It's intense, and if you get the sizing wrong, your carefully planned weekend gaming marathon is going to abruptly turn into a very dark, very frustrating 90-minute disappointment. So, we're going to unpack the actual electrical limitations that most of those basic online tutorials completely ignore, just to make sure you build a system that actually works.
So, will your backup actually last? It's super tempting to buy a big, heavy battery and just assume it guarantees hours of uninterrupted gameplay. It's a comforting thought, right? You drop some serious cash on a massive battery, plug everything in, and figure your 4-hour raid is totally safe from a grid blackout. But man, a sudden loss of power right in the middle of a crucial boss fight is just devastating. And relying on assumptions instead of hard math usually leads to sudden crashes, melted wires, or even worse. We really need to look at the entire system chain today, because a failure at literally any single point in that chain brings your game, and potentially your very expensive hardware, crashing down.
There's a massive danger in falling for what I like to call marketing fantasy numbers. The myth, which is what you usually get from quick online calculators, says you just take your battery amp hours, multiply by voltage, divide by your load in watts, and boom, there's your runtime. Sounds great, right? Well, actually, scratch that. The reality is way more demanding. Real runtime requires accounting for inverter efficiency losses because, look, every single inverter wastes some battery power as pure heat. Then you've got your usable depth of discharge, or DOD. Basically, you can almost never drain a battery to absolute zero without permanently ruining its chemistry. And finally, you have to factor in those wild, unpredictable power spikes from your hardware that completely destroy basic average calculations.
Because here's the thing about a gaming PC. It does not pull a nice, predictable load from the wall. If your system averages a 650-watt power draw, remember that is strictly just an average. These machines are electrically unique because their power consumption literally shifts every single second. Depending on physics calculations, CPU bottlenecks, or just jumping from a static menu into heavy active gameplay, the demand is all over the place. The exact second you load into a graphically intense scene with heavy ray tracing, your GPU creates violent power spikes. These split-second transients leap way above your average load, and they will easily trip weak inverters that are only rated for your baseline power. You absolutely cannot size your backup based on a best-case average.
Okay, let's actually run the numbers and walk through the proper runtime formula. Step 1, figure out your absolute theoretical maximum. You find your total stored energy in watt-hours simply by multiplying the battery's voltage by its amp-hours. Step 2 is where we apply a heavy dose of reality. You need to factor in your inverter's efficiency rating, which is usually hanging right around 85 to 90%, and multiply that by your usable depth of discharge to keep the battery healthy. Finally, step 3, divide that realistic, heavily taxed usable capacity by your sustained gaming load. This is the exact math you need to keep your system from dying mid-game.
Let's put this into perspective with a really common real-world setup. Say you've got a beefy 24-volt, 200-amp-hour battery. Theoretically, that's 4,800 watt-hours of energy. Sounds like a lot, but apply our Step 2 reality check. We multiply by a 90% inverter efficiency, and we'll use an 80% usable depth of discharge, which is pretty standard for a good lithium battery. Suddenly, your massive pool of energy shrinks. You bought a 4,800 watt-hour battery, but after inverter waste and battery health buffers, you really only have about 3,456 usable watt-hours. So, if your rig and monitor pull a combined 750 watts, divide 3,456 by 750. The soberingly real runtime? Just 4.6 hours. And that perfectly proves why marketing specs don't translate to actual hours of gaming. Now here is a critical detail about low-voltage systems that so many DIYers completely underestimate: sheer DC current. If we use our formula to find the direct current draw, we take that 750-watt load and divide it by our 24 volts times our 90% inverter efficiency. That equals roughly 34.7 amps. To put that into perspective, pulling almost 35 amps continuously is an unbelievable amount of stress on a low-voltage DC system. It is vastly different from pulling AC amps from your wall socket. Your 750-watt load is literally forcing nearly 35 amps of continuous traffic directly through those battery cables the entire time you're playing. And remember, those startup spikes, they can push that amperage even higher.
If you ignore that massive 35 amp reality and try to cut corners with undersized cables, the consequences are honestly catastrophic. We are talking about severe voltage drops across the wire, which literally starves your inverter of the power it needs. Worse, shoving that much current through thin wires creates excessive heat. The wire essentially becomes a heating element, which leads straight to insulation failure and ultimately extreme fire hazards right inside your room. This chain reaction is exactly why proper fuse placement is non-negotiable. You have to install an appropriately rated DC fuse as close to the battery's positive terminal as possible. Not up by the inverter, not halfway down the cable, right at the source to cut the power instantly if things go south.
All right, moving down the line to the inverter itself. Modern gaming PCs use active power factor correction, or active PFC, in their power supplies. Basically, they are incredibly picky about the shape and quality of the AC power they get. Feed them dirty, choppy power from a cheap, modified sine wave inverter, and you are in for a bad time. Your power supply will start buzzing, it'll run incredibly hot, and you'll get random, unexplainable shutdowns. A pure sine wave inverter is absolutely mandatory for this. Plus, for that 750-watt sustained load, you need at least a 1,000-watt pure sine inverter. Honestly, 1,500 watts is way safer. You have to have that surge margin overhead for those violent GPU transient spikes. You can never just perfectly match the inverter rating to your average draw. When it comes to the physical energy source, lithium iron phosphate, or LiFePO4, just completely crushes traditional lead acid for high-drain stuff like gaming. Lead-acid batteries suffer from something called Pukert losses. In plain English, the harder and faster you yank power out of a lead-acid battery, the less total energy it actually gives you. Its capacity literally shrinks under the heavy stress of gaming, and you get severe voltage sag. Lithium batteries, they bypass this entirely. They offer a much higher usable depth of discharge, they hold their voltage perfectly stable until they are almost dead, and they easily handle high current loads without completely collapsing their capacity. You really have to use system-level thinking here, because every single hardware mistake maps directly to a catastrophic outcome. An unfused battery short circuit? That leads instantly to terrifying arc flashes and fires. Undersized wiring guarantees heat buildup and melted connectors over time. Poor ventilation, which happens all the time when people shove high-powered inverters into sealed cabinets so they look nice, leads straight to thermal shutdowns during a heavy gaming session. The inverter just suffocates. And of course, a low-quality inverter means PC crashes and incredibly unstable voltage feeding into your expensive motherboard. Every single piece of the puzzle has to be respected. If you take exactly one thing away from this entire explainer, let it be this. Using proper electrical math gives you realistic expectations instead of marketing fantasy numbers. Whether you're a DIY solar enthusiast or just a hardcore gamer who refuses to let a grid outage stop a match, applying real engineering constraints is the only way to go. Factoring in heat, efficiency waste, proper wire sizing, and battery chemistry, that is what actually protects your gear. It turns a hopeful guess into a hardworking, battle-tested system that won't let you down. All right, it's time to run your own numbers. Take a look at your rig. How big are your GPU transient spikes likely to be? What size power supply are you rocking? And what is the actual usable capacity of the battery chemistry you chose? Are you accidentally sitting on a ticking time bomb of undersized wiring, or have you engineered a bulletproof system? Apply the formulas we talked about today, factor in your inverter efficiency, and calculate exactly what you need. Don't leave your hardware or your runtime to chance. Engineer it. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep building.